Something keeps you from collapsing fully, even when you feel stretched, even when you feel suspended between who you were and who you are becoming. That suspension is sacred. It is liminal, like the moment between sunset and full night, like the moment before dawn. Nut inhabits that space. She is not rushing the sun. She is not hurrying the rebirth. She allows the passage. You rush yourself. You demand instant clarity, immediate renewal. But transformation requires travel. The sun does not vanish and reappear instantly. It journeys through her body, through unseen terrain, through mystery. Your renewal also requires journey. Through grief, through confusion, through uncertainty, through dark interiors. Nut does not fear interiority. She embodies it. When you feel swallowed by circumstances, by loss, by heartbreak, by failure, it may feel like annihilation. But myth says otherwise. You are being carried, not destroyed, carried toward reconfiguration. The Egyptians painted her inside tombs, above coffins, on ceilings of burial chambers. Why? Because death was not considered end. It was transition, and Nut was the passage. She receives, she gestates, she births again. She is the reminder that nothing truly disappears. It changes form. When you cling to what was, you resist rebirth. When you accept descent, you align with cycle. Nut does not resist. She arches, she holds, she swallows, she births. Every single day, eternally. If she can release the sun nightly and trust its return, perhaps you can release what no longer serves you. If she can endure curse and still create gods, perhaps your restrictions are not final. If she can stretch across infinity without apology, perhaps you can take up space without shrinking. She is not passive sky. She is active cycle. She is not void. She is womb. She is not ending. She is passage. When darkness falls in your life, do not panic immediately. Ask, am I being erased or am I being renewed? Nut's body answers in stars. The night is not the enemy. It is the mother of dawn. And when you stand beneath the sky, feeling small, remember this. You are not under emptiness. You are under a goddess who swallows the sun and gives it back, who births gods from forbidden days, who stretches across eternity without apology, who teaches that endings are not annihilation, they are preparation. And when your light feels gone, when your identity dissolves, when your path disappears into shadow, do not assume you are lost. You may simply be traveling through her, waiting for your own sunrise. You think power is dominance, conquest, force. But holding is harder. Holding space, holding grief, holding faith when dawn feels distant. Nut holds the sun even when it disappears. She trusts the cycle. When something leaves your life, it feels final. When the light fades, panic rises. But Nut Smith whispers otherwise. The light is not gone. It is traveling. Traveling through a space you cannot see. Transformation is rarely visible from the outside. From the outside, it looks like loss. But inside the darkness, something is being remade. She is the mother of Osiris, god of death and rebirth. Isis, goddess of magic and restoration. Set, force of chaos. Nephthys, guardian of the dead. Her children embody balance and imbalance, order and disruption, life and dissolution. Nut did not birth perfection. She birthed polarity. Because existence requires contrast. You cannot have dawn without night. You cannot have growth without decay. You cannot have resurrection without death. Nut contains all of it, and she does not judge which is better. She swallows both. Every day she consumes the sun, symbol of clarity, power, ego, and every day she returns it renewed. There is humility in that. Even the brightest force must pass through darkness. Even the strongest identity must dissolve at times. If the sun must surrender tonight, so must you. Surrender is not defeat. It is trust, not trust the cycle. The ancient Egyptians feared stagnation more than darkness, because stagnation interrupts ma'at, balance, not ensures balance continues. Light does not dominate forever. Darkness does not conquer permanently. They exchange. They flow. If you resist the night in your life, you resist half the cycle. You resist integration. Nut teaches integration. She is not afraid to swallow what shines, because she knows it will rise again. Are you willing to let your identity dissolve? Are you willing to pass through unseen transformation? Or do you cling to the light so tightly that you fear every sunset? Nut does not cling. She opens, her mouth wide at dusk, her body receptive to the descent. There is courage in that, to allow what must end to end, to trust what must return will return. When Ra cursed her womb, she did not collapse. She endured the waiting. Waiting is its own darkness, the space between desire and fulfillment, between pregnancy and birth, between promise and manifestation. You live in waiting more than you realize. Waiting for clarity, waiting for change, waiting for yourself to become who you sense you could be. Not waited beyond the calendar, beyond restriction, beyond imposed limits. And when time opened, she delivered God's. Perhaps your delay is not denial. Perhaps it is preparation. Nut's body is marked with stars, countless points of light embedded in darkness. You see the stars because of the night. Without her darkness, they vanish. The things that guide you often appear only when the light fades. Intuition sharpens at night. Reflection deepens at night. Truth surfaces at night. She is not absence of light. She is canvas for it. How often have you feared your own darkness, your sadness, your doubt, your anger, your fatigue? You label them failures. But what if they are part of your cycle? What if you are not broken when you descend? What if you are traveling through Nut? She is vast. Your darkness feels infinite. But infinite is not the same as permanent. Morning is embedded in night, just as death is embedded in life. She bends, eternally supported by Shu, air separating sky and earth, breath holding space. Breath is invisible, yet essential. Nut's arch is impossible without it. In your life, what holds you up invisibly? Faith, habit, community, memory. They told you the night was empty, a void, a darkness stretched across the sky, a backdrop for stars. But the ancients knew better. They looked upward and did not see emptiness. They saw a goddess. Nut arched over the world, her body covered in constellations, her fingertips touching the horizon, her spine bending across eternity. She was not above the earth. She was holding it. They said she swallowed the sun every evening and gave birth to it every dawn. To modernize, that sounds poetic. To the ancient Egyptians, it was truth. Every sunset was an act of consumption. Every sunrise, an act of birth. Nut was not the darkness that devoured light. She was the darkness that protected it. She stretched across the sky while her brother and husband Geb lay beneath her as the earth. Between them stood Shu, god of air, holding them apart. Because once, Nut and Geb were locked together. Sky and earth fused as one, and their closeness blocked creation. Nothing could grow between them. Nothing could breathe. So they were separated. Distance made life possible. Remember that. Separation is not always punishment. Sometimes it is space for becoming. Nut's story begins before the stars. Daughter of Shu and Tefnut, she was destined to embody the sky itself. But there was a prophecy. Ra, the sun god, feared her children. He was told that one of them would overthrow him. So he cursed her. She would not give birth on any day of the year. And in ancient Egypt, the year was 360 days long, locked by decree, silenced by fear. Her womb held potential, but no time would permit it. When authority fears what you may create, it restricts your timing. It limits your window. It attempts to seal your possibility. But Nut was not alone. With the help of Thoth, god of wisdom, 5 extra days were won through cunning, carved out from the moon through a game of strategy. 5 days that did not belong to the calendar, days outside control, and on those days, Nut gave birth. Osiris, Isis, Set, Nephthys, Horus the Elder, 5 forces that would shape the destiny of gods and humans alike. She birthed transformation itself, out of forbidden time. Understand the symbolism. When the world tells you there is no space for what you carry, creation finds a way. Nut could not give birth within the structure imposed upon her. So time was expanded, possibility extended, limitations negotiated. She did not rebel with violence. She endured with patience. And when the window opened, she delivered destiny. But Nut's power is not only in her motherhood, it is in her embrace of endings. Each night the sun travels across her body, sinking into her mouth at dusk. It passes through her darkness, through her belly, through her unseen interior, and by morning it is reborn from her womb. She swallows the light, not to destroy it, to renew it. The ancients did not fear the sunset. They trusted Nut. They believed the sun would return because she held it, because she carried it safely through darkness. Darkness was not annihilation, it was gestation. What if your darkest moments are not erasure? What if they are incubation? Nut teaches that endings are passages, that descent is not disappearance, that being swallowed by night does not mean you are lost. It means you are traveling unseen. She is often depicted nude, her body curved above the earth, stars scattered across her skin. Nudity in ancient symbolism is not shame. It is truth without concealment. She does not hide what she is. She does not disguise her vastness. She stretches fully, unapologetically, across the entire sky. How often do you shrink yourself to fit? How often do you compress your magnitude to make others comfortable? Nut did not compress. She expanded until she became horizon. They say she swallows the sun each evening, but she also swallows souls. In funerary texts, the deceased hope to pass into her body, to be reborn among the stars. Her body was gateway, her darkness, passage. She did not guard heaven with gates. She became heaven. When you look up at night and feel small, remember this. In Egyptian cosmology, you are not beneath an empty sky. You are beneath a goddess who carries eternity on her back. She does not collapse. She does not falter. She bends without breaking. Her posture is eternal strain, arching across infinity. And yet she holds. Holding is power.